Bismillah. Innal hamdalillah. Salatu salamun ala rasulillah. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Inshallah, we are going to just talk about one beautiful verse in the Quran in Surah Al-An'am, in the Juz 8, the 8th part of the Quran. Inshallah, we will reflect upon it. It's very helpful for us and very relevant for us, and we can learn a lot of lesson from this, so we can govern ourselves properly, inshallah. So Allah Azza wa Jal talks about, gives a beautiful advice here. وَلِكُلِّ دَرَجَاتٌ مِمَّا عَمِلُوا وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِغَافِلٍ أَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. He says, وَلِكُلِّ دَرَجَاتٍ مِمَّا عَمِلُوا. For every action, there is darajat, there are levels. And certainly your Lord is not unaware of what you do. So this is what inshallah we will see today. It's a small verse but a very profound verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there is, for every action you do, there are darajats, there are levels. So in our system here in our dunya, we find there are levels for every action, every crime. For example, there is somebody commits a murder, there is first degree murder, second degree murder, third degree murder, depending on the severity of the crime he committed. So similarly, that the courts give their verdict accordingly. Allah Azza wa Jalla also says there is levels in every action you do. This is good one and bad one. Evil deed, good deed. Both there are reward and punishment according to the levels. So we should understand this, so we can think and reflect on it. Whenever we do something wrong because of our own desires, make sure you do it at the lowest severity, not at the highest severity. When you want to do something good, make sure you do it at the highest level of severity, so that you can get the maximum reward. So to explain this, first let's go to the bad side of it, the bad actions. That can be explained better in an hadith by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Allah Azza wa Jal will not talk, will not purify, will not make them enter three kinds of people. Three kinds of people. This is an authentic hadith. The first one is the old man who commits zina. The second one is the poor person but is arrogant. The third one is the person who sells his merchandise by taking a oath on Allah Azza wa Jalla. Wallahi. These are three people. If you analyze this, you will understand the whole concept. The old man committing zina, why he is Allah Azza wa Jalla giving the maximum punishment? He will not even look at him on the day of Qiyamah. On the day of Qiyamah, he will not purify him, because at that old age, he should be matured enough to be turning towards Allah Azza wa Jalla, to go and look forward for his grave and prepare for it, rather than committing zina by physically, by his eyes looking into the phone, going into pornography, passing on the nudity, lividness, all those kinds of things. That is something a different level. If we can imagine, if a person is young, in his young tantalizing age, distracted by the desires, doing it is wrong, but we can understand Allah gives him a punishment, but it is a lesser level. Even if he turns back to Allah, seeks forgiveness, it is fine. But at that age, when he is matured, when he is looking forward for his death, committing zina is a different level. Similarly, a poor person being arrogant itself is a sin. But we can understand if a person is arrogant because of his wealth, his power, position, his connections, contacts, driving a Rolls Royce and living in a very posh neighborhood. If he's arrogant, we can understand his mentality, mindset. That is wrong, because Allah says, Rasulullah says, even an atom's worth of arrogance, a person will not enter Jannah. But for this person, being poor, you have to be humble. Being poor, you need to be down to earth. You cannot be arrogant, because you are in need of help from others. Allah is going to help you through other people only, through the means. But if you show arrogance towards them, that is something a different level. This is darajat. And the third one, cheating in the business is haram. But cheating in the name of Allah, Azza, saying, Wallahi brother, this is my cost, Wallahi I bought this for this price, Wallahi, this is something a different level. Cheating, Allah says, those who cheat in the business, Allah curses them. But going, you have an audacity to cheat in the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, saying Wallahi, that's a different level. So when people do something wrong, we need to make sure you should not do wrong. But if you end up doing wrong, make sure you don't fall into that kind of severity. Try to do as much as minimum possible, because you are not able to control yourself. Stay and seek forgiveness of Allah Azza wa Jal. So then going back to the good side of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even has a darajat in the good things what you do, the good deeds what you do. This also again explained in a beautiful hadith where Allah Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says there are 7 people who will be shaded under the arsh of Allah Azza wa Jal when there is no shade on the day of Qiyamah. So the 7 people, if you see these categories, this hadith, these words applies to them. One among them is a person, young person, a youth whose heart is always attached to the masjid. He is a person under the shade of the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal when there is no shade, because the highest level of goodness. Because in the young age, you are always distracted. You are always after, desires. You are always after your career. You are always after, after the dunya to earn it. But your heart is attached to the dunya, to the masjid is difficult. But in the retirement, when you after 50, 60 years, you get retired, you don't have anything else to do, then you come to the masjid, you stay here, your heart is always attached, you want to sit in the masjid. There is a reward, definitely, Allah gives reward. But there is no shade under the arsh. The shade under the arsh is only for those who, young age, where they can get themselves distracted, but they control their nafs and desire, attach themselves to the masjid. For them, the level is higher level. That is what kulli darajati mimma amilu. So every level, there are another. After we retire, after we complete all our bills, kill all our birds and blow all the fuses, you don't have anything else, nobody respects in the house, no value for you in the society, come and stay in the masjid, there is reward. But in the young age, when you are in demand always, when you can, if you wish, you can do so many things outside, but you are attached to that, doesn't mean you have to sit in the masjid and leave the dunya. Meaning attached is staying outside. The Rasulullah says, they didn't say you sit in the masjid in the young days. Your heart is attached to them. You have to be very careful. You go work outside, but your heart is always in the masjid. You miss the salah, you feel something very bad. You miss the salah, you feel something as a big mountain on your head. You miss the jama'ah, you think, I have done a great crime. Because your heart is always attached to the masjid. You are busy in the work. The moment you go back to the masjid and fulfill your salah. So you are in the dunya, but your heart is attached to the masjid in the young age is a different level. The another example of the person under the throne is a person who is invited by a woman who is of beauty and has the power and position to commit zina, but he stayed away from her, seeking the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. For him is the throne, the shade under the throne. This is something very important too. The categories are so wise, so there is full of wisdom, because a woman of beauty, she invites a person, but if she doesn't have authority, she will put you in trouble. She can, get you, captured for doing something haram. But if a woman of authority, but she doesn't have beauty, she is not attractive, so you won't even go. But a woman of both beauty and authority, you go and commit something wrong with her, she has the power and influence to cover it up, you are even safe. So both sides you are safe, but only thing stops you is the fear of Allah Azza wa Jal. For him there is a shade. But if a person, there are people who given a chance, they will do haram. They didn't do it only because they didn't get a chance. If they get a chance, they will do it. But if they stay away, there is definitely, we have the intention to not to do, Allah will reward. But you got the opportunity and you have the moment and you have all the circumstances to protect you, but only thing protects you, stops you is the fear of Allah Azza wa Jal. That is a different level. Like Yusuf alayhi salam, He was invited by the wife of Aziz, who was in a powerful position, to cover him. She was beautiful, but he didn't go. He said, as I said yesterday also with the same verse, Allahumma inni sijnu ahabbu ilay mimma yad'unana ilayhi. He says, I prefer going to prison rather than committing what she wants me to do. For him, Allah gave the highest level award. He made him the prime minister of the country. By putting him in the prison, he would never thought, I am going to the prison so I can become the prime minister of the country. Allah has the wisdom behind it. So Allah gives the great levels. You forgive somebody when you are in a position to take revenge. That is the highest level. You can forgive the president. I forgive the president. I forgive the king. You don't have any power to punish him. So you have to forgive. But if you forgive someone whom you have all the power to take revenge, crush him, but still you forgive him, highest level. That is the award. This is a different level. So this is the hikmah behind this verse. So whenever we do something good, aim for the highest. Whenever you end up doing something wrong, try to be the lowest. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us among those who are right to guide. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, brother.
So you have a question. So you said, forgive those who have done you wrongs, things like that, right?
Yeah.
There are incidences where somebody is trying to do you wrong,
Yeah.
right? Yet you have the authority to defend yourself, but in defending yourself, you could trample the other person too.
Yeah.
But you're also taking a risk, 50-50, it could go down. So it's not about like letting something go that has been done. It's like almost allowing this to happen, because if you don't allow the person to hurt you a little bit, you may hurt them a lot more in your response.
Yeah.
In that point, is it better to let them hurt you a little bit than to be like forget everything and go all out and go attack?
See, you have to be, whatever you do, you have to be in the muhsin, highest level. Muhsin. Allah allows those who are muhsinin. The quality of the muhsin is, Allah says, wa'afiin anin nas. They will forgive. Allah didn't say, okay, they can hurt you little, but you forget. There is no question of what they can hurt you. Forgive. That's it. So it is up to you. You want to go to the highest level, or you want to go and fight them and lead a battle with them and try to push. It's up to you.
Your suggestion is just
Me, I would say forgive and move on. That's it. Jazakallah khair.